Okay, so hello again, everyone. I was able to already introduce myself. I'm João. I'm the head of the design system at Nubank. I've been at Nubank for 7 years. Julivan, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Julivan. I'm engineering manager at Nubank. I can say that I am pretty new compared to João. I have 2 years been working at Nubank as engineering manager.
Yeah, and Julivan has to cope with me at Nubank since his first minute, first day, since first day one. We've been working together.
My onboarding buddy.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so let's go. We want to share a bit about. I discussed it a bit on this on the panel, but how we approach design governance as code first, because we shouldn't rely only on good intentions and documentation, right? This is not enough for us to reach the high quality bar that we require, and code is an avenue to guarantee the best customer experience. And then there's AI on top, and we are also going to discuss a bit more on that. So a bit more about Nubank. As I mentioned, Nubank is the largest digital bank outside of Asia. So currently we serve 135 million customers across Brazil, Mexico, and Colombia. And now starting the penetration in the United States. 62% of the Brazil adult population banks with Nubank. 37 million of them had their first access to the financial system through Nu, especially on credit products. So the social impact of using technology to leverage access to financial services is one of the key missions at Nubank. And we have very high activity rate. 83% of people use it constantly, our monthly active rate. So operating at this scale and guaranteeing the level of craft and quality on the design and also the scalability of code is quite a challenge. So we shouldn't depend only on documentation and good intentions, right? How can we make sure that this is an outcome of the platforms, the front-end platforms that we utilize in our structure? So what are these three platforms that we mentioned that compose a flywheel, that compose an ecosystem? So we have Nubank's design system, NuDS, where we have and hold everything related to tokens, components, patterns, behaviors that I mentioned previously. And NuDS is basically the vocabulary on how the whole app looks and feel. So this is also important because it's not only about the UI, but also about the behaviors we see in the app. And it's funny because NuDS, but actually we say nudes. It's like naked. But Nubank is called new because it means being naked, like it's being stripped down of the usual bureaucracy on the financial system. So this is the concept. Yeah, cool. And then going forward on another platform, which is our server-driven UI structure. So the screens in the app, they are rendered on the server side, and they leverage the existing components on the design system side. So Flutter is the basis, the foundation for everything we do on the UI, and then the screen content is rendered on the server side. And lastly, on having strong governance in this sense, we have the homepage platform that orchestrates one of the most important points in our app, touch points with the customer, which is the app homepage. Because in the end of the day, of all of those active users, 100% of them will go through the homepage, right? If they're logged in. So we have this orchestration and also this global design governance on the homepage level. So strategically speaking, the design system at Nubank, we are much more prescriptive and enforce it than overly open. And this is a shift in our strategy because in the past, the design system was widely open. So designers basically compose whatever screen they wish with whatever components they wished. And we saw that generated a backlog of UX inconsistencies and also a lack of design quality. That's why in the recent years, we've been changing that through a very intense collaboration process with all of the design and engineering community at Nubank, and be able to create global patterns and conventions that can help us succeed and reduce effort both on the design side and code side. Now, Julivan is going to mention a bit more about each of them.
Yes, great, John. So why this is important for us? Why this flywheel it's important? Because we need to have canonical approach, right? Because without canonical approach, it's almost impossible to leverage AI, and we need everything to be smoother and like give AI like the biggest context that we need. So as João was mentioning, we have NuDS, which is our design system. This is where Flutter lives, right? So NuDS provides all the primitives for Flutter, and each component, we have versions, we have themable widgets, we have semantics, we have analytics, accessibility. So all the things that are using NuDS, they take advantage of all the platform capabilities. And this is really important because, as we saw in the past talk, like use the design system is crucial for AI as well. Then it's built also and takes advantage of our server-driven UI framework. So all the component tree is resolved by our server-driven UI. So we have an interpreter in Flutter that map each NuDS component for the screen. So we have actions, validation, we have navigation, and we also take advantage of caching, prefetching, observability. So we have a lot of tools embedded in the server-driven UI framework. And then we have the homepage platform. This is really important for us because as we are a large-scale bank, we're a large-scale application, we have a lot of different products inside the homepage. So the homepage platform is responsible to orchestrate those requests. And when our teams use the homepage platform, we have all the capabilities that it provides, like experimentation. We know the eligibility of the customer. Which widgets do I need to show to this customer? We have personalization, also graceful degradation of the widgets. So homepage platform handles all these requests. We have like 90 different widgets at the homepage, requests actually, and we merge them into one single request on the front end. So what this unlocks for us and why this is important. So we have optimized the app release so we can deliver the best experience for our customers really quickly, because with our server-driven UI, it enables us to do small changes, experimentation on the fly. And like, it's not possible yet to have like big changes, but we can have like all the capabilities, like change buttons, change everything from the layout. And while we keep the adherence to the stars, we also have these quick updates for our customers. Also, we have one coherent experience for our app, because we have many things, we have a lot of surface to touch, but every screen inherits the same shell. So we take advantage of motion, accessibility, and this is really important for us because, like João was mentioning, it's really important that we have design coherence, right? So also, like for any regions, we have one tailored homepage because we have this canonical approach. So with one system, like which is the homepage platform, for example, we have single definition, we have everything adapted per country instead of different builds. So Brazil, Mexico, Colombia, they all take advantage of the homepage platforms and server-driven UI frameworks.
Yeah, and something interesting too that we've been learning, basically we are creating a framework of governance because some of the app touch points we might want to be more restrictive in terms of following the global standards, so we can also protect the brand experience overall. But some other layers in the navigation, we are more flexible. So basically we see that the first level navigation that's composed of the homepage, profile, settings, they should be global, therefore they are enforced on a homepage platform level. But then product dashboards or specific flows, they are more flexible because we also need to empower, as a design system, we are enablers, right? For the teams. We must empower teams to be able to iterate on the UI, to understand what's the business impact through our experimentation culture on the specific journeys that they are accountable. We have a credit card team, a account team, a lending team, investments team, and they also need to be empowered to do these iterations. So basically, this is how we are framing and creating our design governance framework. So more restrictive on the first level navigation, and then a bit more flexible on the second level plus. And also, I spoke on the panel. NuDS is composed of, we see it as a pyramid. So we have the baseline with the foundations, with tokens and everything, the components, but we still have a very little portfolio of patterns and templates. Patterns specifically, we are investing a lot of energy on creating the standards and also the understanding in the company of what do we expect of the navigation patterns, what do we expect of the loading patterns, how they are applied to the different flows and experiences, and then also being able to create the templates, which are pre-composed strategies. A learning also that we have many different archetypes of designers and engineers in the community, and I guess this is kind of universal across the industry. So thinking of designers, we have the system thinker, the designers that usually follow the rules and they cheer up for the design system, but then we have the innovators that it's very challenging for them to accept a convention already set. So they have extreme difficulty on using the conventions on the design system, but it's extremely important for us to have these two archetypes because the design system is also about some creative friction. So we have to have a flywheel also to receive and collect this feedback loop and understand where the design system can improve to better support the use cases and also customer delight. So I guess this aspect of the governance is super important, especially as we enter the AI first model and thinking of AI agents, if we don't have this documentation clarified, we won't be able to give good instructions to the AI. That's why we've been investing a lot on raising maturity on the complete pyramid of the design system and enrich our value proposition as a business area. Yeah. Okay, so what's our general take? What makes the flywheel spin, right, in our day to day? So, on the design system level, we've been pushing teams to use the most, when possible, the NuDS templates and not a blank canvas. We mirror, of course, our design system inside Figma, so we are very careful on the Figma code match. This is very relevant to us. On the server-driven UI side, the teams, they define these screens as this data layer, also using Flutter on the background as the fundamentals. On HPP, we orchestrate and have this governance on the first level navigation, and also making sure we have high coverage on the tokens and avoid using raw values because this protects the brand coherence. We are investing more and more on building our brand, especially as we expand on international. Um, so we have to protect that coherence. Luckily, we've been also able on the design system team to invest on instrumentation of different metrics to understand adoption. It's very important to have this analytical understanding on the design system to support your evolutions. So the numbers I shared previously, we have today 90% of components adoption across all of the server-driven UI pages in the app. But looking at the components adoption alone is not enough because to infer design quality, we need to look at the whole pyramid. So being analytical in this sense is super relevant. So basically, this is the recipe, how we've been treating and handling the challenge of having incredible design experiences at scale and with an extremely collaborative framework across multiple teams at Nubank. And then something shows up. Have you heard of AI? Anybody?
Yeah, so in systems with like such big scale like we have at Nubank, context is everything, right? So something that we are working on and is give to the AI as much context as we can, because we need to use tokens, we need we need to have typed components, we need to have declarative screens. So we enhance the AI dictionary so we can get rid of this repetitive work, but we need to keep humans on the judgment calls, because for us, it, like João said, it's very important for us to have like coherence. And the scale that we are right now, we need to be very, very careful on what we are shipping to our customers. So we need to leverage existing components in the screen. So that's why the context is so important for us. We need to reuse everything that we have. We need to catch what's off the system and why, like João was mentioning about the NuDS adoption. So why are the teams not using NuDS? We need to know that, because we need to enhance the design system. We need to deliver the best experience for internal customers as well. So we need also to keep docs in sync because we need to have our MD files, our documentation, handoff files, and etc. And also, I think this is a very important for us. It's the guardrails, like the linters, the PR reviews, the UX guardrails as well, because we want to have everything under our control, but also giving flexibility for all the things that are consuming those components and our services for to build their screens.
Okay, so if we could share, like, based on our learnings, it's not been easy, but it's been extremely fun to build this strategy on global design coherence, leveraging platforms and leveraging code. So put design decisions where code runs. Guidelines won't scale. Humans usually won't read the guidelines. So make sure that you have these on the code side. You have these clear contracts. This is extremely important. Also, run your platforms as a flywheel. Understand not only the design system in isolation, but how it's connected to the whole content distribution architecture on the platforms you take care for. And also, AI rewards is structure, because without these definitions, the quality of the outputs will be pretty low. So we've been investing a lot on generating this awareness and creating the definitions of some of the stuff that was not defined on the design system. And it does take a lot of sweat and investment, but it's really worth it. We are extremely excited with the AI agentic first flow that we've recently developed, and we see huge gains in productivity. Some stuff to improve on the creative side, as I mentioned previously, but these will help us succeed in the long run. Okay, and that's it. Thank you. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.